What I want to know, Michael, have you always lived in Muskegon, or do you come from somewhere else?
Well, I was originally born in Kokomo, Indiana, and my parents moved up to Michigan when I was 3, so really I've only known Michigan. And I used to live in Frankfort, up by Traverse City area, if you're familiar with that.
I am.
I had a wonderful childhood. Spent my summers on Lake Michigan and Crystal Lake, and my winters I just sat around waiting for summer. But other than that, it was great. And so then I went down to school at Michigan State and stayed in Lansing, and I realized just how wonderful I had it in my childhood up in Frankfort. And then my wife and I got married. We met at Michigan State, and we had a long discussion about I wanted to move to Traverse City and she wanted to move to Grand Rapids, and so we compromised and we live in Grand Rapids now. So that was kind of worked out in my benefit. And then now as the years have gone by, we've realized that it's so nice up there. So right now what we do is we kind of visit. My parents still are up there, and so but Grand Rapids is my home, and I work out of Grand Rapids in West Michigan. Kind of do quite a bit over here in Muskegon, and I actually go up to Manistee every now and again, do some work up there. But most of the time I'm in Grand Rapids, and it's a lovely little town.
Well, you're taking care of all of West Michigan.
Absolutely. I get out of the office. I can't. I don't know. There's people who get to sit in their office all day.
The walls close in on you.
Exactly, especially in February.
That's all right. It happens the same way for the rest of us too, because winter is winter. Period. No matter what.
Fall, I think, is my favorite season.
It's the most beautiful.
The leaves changing and that crisp, cool air at night, and then the nice warm day. Oh, you put on a jacket and you're good. And I'm just happy as can be all fall. And where else can you go to Lake Michigan? I mean, we're only right here. You're
just a few
minutes from the beach. You go up to Ludington or Grand Haven or down to Grand Haven. It's gorgeous.
And Frankfort.
And I would once you get Michigan in your blood, I can't get it out.
Let's go back and talk about going into debt, because this is a problem with senior citizens today.
I would say that all right, you've got the pressing issue of long-term care and Social Security and Medicare, and these are pressing. They're at you can see it. Everyone is thinking about it and they're reacting to it, and it's a problem. But right now there is this problem where a lot of people have debt, and it's just too much for them. They got the credit cards. Maybe they did something with the mortgage. I know it. It's. Don't even get me going on what the credit card companies have been doing for the past couple of years. And if anyone's watching this and they are on credit card, it's amazing the things that I've seen. People that come in with me, they've only had maybe a couple $1,000s in debt, and then they miss a couple payments, and all of a sudden it balloons. But that's a bigger topic to talk about. Will be the debt.
We have to do that some other time when we've got lots of time.
That's a whole other conversation right there, because it is the number of things that happened in the housing market that we went through. It spilled over into these other areas.
It hasn't stopped.
And it hasn't stopped.
It's still there.
And there's people that
they're buried.
Great term. And if you can, again, create a plan to say, what's my situation, and everyone's different. What is it? Is there anything I can do about it? And you'd be surprised. You have options, and it can be either. I'd like to say budgeting would be great, but it's individually, and you can go from there.
That's also a dirty word in a lot of people's vocabulary because they don't like that word.
It means you can't go out to eat as much.
And
got to look for that free meal.
And if I understand it correctly, Michigan is Western Michigan, and in particular, goes out to eat more than most places.
If you're
I know that sounds ridiculous in a way, but it is true.
Let's look at the number of restaurants.
And they're all in business, and they keep moving.
Go out on a Saturday night. It's pretty busy.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is, it's just a matter of. And here's another thing that I've run into is that people don't adjust to the new reality of being retired. You know, you get some people that have run up some debt because they're used to having a lifestyle and they're used to having this income that's gone because they retired. So, or they were forced out early, or they've run into some trouble, and that's where there's this. I want to say it's a disconnect between the way I think I should be and the way that I am. And that's where you run into some trouble. And it just takes a little tweaking, a little recalibration, and you can be on your way. But it's amazing how many people, I never thought that I would be talking about debt to as many people as I do. I never thought of that when I started.
It's something that does not go away. And a lot of it's between the words want and need.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere in that gray area is where you are.
There's a line here and a line there. One's want and one's need. And in between, it's like a gray fog. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They can't see the way through.
And sometimes all you need to do is put a little light on it. So, and a lot of it, and there is this certain amount of embarrassment, you know, to say, well, I did this, you know, and I never thought I would be in this situation, or I hear that a lot, or, you know, I felt so alone. And what's funny is and it's not funny because you're in that situation, but it's funny because you're not. There are so many people out there that are dealing with it that you are one of many, and it's
one of a great big company.
And there was a great big company that helped you get there. So you can think about it that way and say it's not a problem. What I would do is I would say, give me a call. Just call Michael Herring at 616-916-6704 and move on from there. But that's another conversation altogether.
Yes, I know we're hitting the end of our time together, and again, I want you to leave your name, your address, your fax number, or whatever you would like to leave so that people know how to contact you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say that you just call my phone number at 616-916-6704. If you want to, you can give me a call and I will pick up the phone and we can conversate from there. I am over in Grand Rapids. My office is 2050 Celadon Drive, Northeast, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I'm Suite A3. Now, I might be changing because I'm upstairs right now, so I want to move downstairs in my little office complex. So it might be the A3 may change shortly. I'm moving on up in the world, or down in the world.
I was just going to say, I thought you said down.
Yeah, so there could be a small change there, but nothing major. But I'm right over there, and it's over by Celebration Cinema North, where most people are familiar with.
Yes.
So, you just contact me, and I can. Hopefully schedule an appointment, or we can just talk over the phone.
And I also want to know is if you will come back and talk to us several times again.
I will. I enjoyed myself so much.
Because we need someone who will just state things as they are and give information, because people are afraid. Mm-hmm. And they're embarrassed to talk about their problems.
You can put them in the closet for so long. But then they kind of
just don't open that door, because the minute you do, they fall right back in your lap.
Exactly. And a lot of times when you're in that situation and you know you're in trouble, it seems much worse because it's you. You know, if I were to tell your story to somebody else, you wouldn't think it was even that bad. But it's you, and it impacts you much more than anything else. So all it takes is just a little reassurance, and here, let's move on and be done with it. And put your head on your pillow and rest easy at night, which is kind of our goal.
Well, you know what? That's the best advice there is. Face your problem, because it isn't going to go away until you take care of it. Mm-hmm. And
it was a pleasure talking with you. I really had a good time. I'm looking forward to coming back.
I want to thank you again, because it has been a pleasure. And you've given lots of good advice. West Michigan, we'll be back to see you again shortly. And we will have our gentleman friend, Michael, and it's Herring, like the fish.
Like the fish.
And if you have if you've got some questions that you'd like to see us or hear us come up with, you could give a call to our general manager. And thank you again,
Thank you
Michael.
very much. I appreciate it.
And goodbye, West Michigan. We'll be back.